In any company, there's the work you see on paper, the official stuff we all do. But then there's something else, right? A kind of hidden game, this powerful undercurrent that can totally shape careers and decide if whole projects sink or swim. Today, we're going to crack the code on that very thing, corporate politics.
Have you ever heard that saying, crabs in a bucket? It's such a wild image, but man, does it perfectly capture a workplace that's just drowning in politics. Instead of helping each other climb out and succeed, everyone's just busy pulling each other back down. It's a really powerful metaphor for internal conflict, and we're going to come back to it.
Now, that's a tough question to ask, isn't it? We spend so much time worrying about competitors out there, about market forces. But what if the real damaging battles are being fought right in our own hallways, in meetings, over Slack? Let's peel back those layers and see what's actually going on.
Okay, so if we're going to understand this game inside the game, we have to start with the basics. We need to define what office politics really is, and maybe more importantly, where the heck it comes from. Because this isn't just random drama. It has some deep and honestly pretty predictable roots.
So here's the key thing to get. We're not talking about healthy debate or having ambition. Politics, in this sense, is all about getting an unfair advantage. It's about favoritism. It's about deliberately keeping information from people. And it's about actively working against your own teammates just for your own personal gain. And what's at the heart of all this? Well, it's basically a fundamental mismatch. We are all hardwired to want to thrive, to survive, to succeed. But when the system we're in starts rewarding things like who you know or how you look more than the actual quality of your work, well, that creates the perfect breeding ground for all this political behavior.
It's actually pretty fascinating how much the broader culture we live in can shape this whole thing. If you look at more collectivist societies, where the success of the group is the most important thing, there's just naturally less oxygen for self-serving politics. But on the flip side, in individualistic cultures, where personal achievement is the name of the game, the stage is set for a much, much higher level of political games.
All right, so we get what it is and why it happens. But what's the real damage here? I mean, what's the actual cost? Well, it's steep. And believe me, it goes way beyond just a few hurt feelings.
This is where it gets ugly, folks. This is where you see the real, tangible damage. Trust just evaporates because of backstabbing. The whole idea of a meritocracy gets shredded when performance reviews are manipulated. Projects completely fail because teams are arguing over data for political reasons, or they're making promises they know they can't keep. And what's the final result? The good people, they just leave.
You can almost think of it like a slow-acting poison for a company's soul. A single political move might not seem like a big deal, but over time, all those little acts add up, and they just destroy the trust, the collaboration, the psychological safety that's the absolute bedrock of any great company culture.
This quote right here, it is so important. See, during normal, stable times, a company might be able to get by with some politics. But the moment you go through a big change, a merger, a new strategy, a crisis, that's when you need everyone, and I mean everyone, pulling in the exact same direction. And if your company is just riddled with political factions, getting everyone aligned is impossible. The whole transformation is basically doomed before it starts. Ever seen a big company initiative just crash and burn? Politics might have been the real killer.
Okay, enough with the doom and gloom, right? Here's the good news. Politics is not inevitable. It's not some law of nature. Strong leadership can absolutely dismantle a political culture and build something much, much healthier. So let's walk through an actual playbook for how to do it.
This 5-point plan is a fantastic roadmap. It all starts by defining the culture, because ambiguity, that's where politics loves to hide. Then you've got to pick leaders who actually live and breathe that culture, because they're the ones who amplify what's okay and what's not. Of course, you have to communicate that message relentlessly. But step 4 is the real game changer. Reward teamwork. That actively changes the whole incentive structure, moving it away from individual showboating and toward collective success. And finally, when you acknowledge ideas from everyone, you give people a real way to have influence, so they don't have to resort to playing those back-channel games.
So after all that work, what's the end game? What are we really aiming for here? Well, it's all about refocusing the entire organization's energy, from fighting battles inside to tackling challenges on the outside. And really, this is what it all boils down to. Every single ounce of energy that's spent on internal politics is energy that is not being spent on innovating, on serving customers, or on beating the competition. The goal is to get everyone aiming at the same target, winning as a team, out there in the real world. Which brings us right back to where we started, with those crabs in a bucket. So take a second and think about your own workplace. Is it a bucket where people are just scrambling over each other? Or is it a ladder where people are actually helping each other climb? The answer to that question, well, it reveals pretty much everything about your company's culture and its future.